Right now, the most popular mobile games in the world have horrible reviews by their own players. Why do we do this to ourselves, you ask? Why is it so addictive to play such horrible games? In this video, I am going to list the top 5 mobile games you are embarrassed you can't stop playing. The first game on the list is Queen Bee, which is currently ranked the #1 adventure game in the world. What the heck, guys? The #1 adventure game in the world is a girl walking down the hall, making sure she makes the right choices so that she is accepted and not shamed. So in addition to that already being kind of a bad message that if you choose the wrong things, you won't get accepted, a lot of the things that the game says is good to choose are not necessarily that good. And at the end of the hall, if you succeed, you get to hook up with a guy, which is also not a great message. Now, the game does not have good reviews. It has just as many 1-star reviews as it has 5-star reviews, but it is the #1 adventure game in the world right now with millions and millions of downloads. This is not an adventure game, and to make things worse, the game doesn't just make you watch one commercial when you finish going through the hallway, it makes you watch three commercials between each walk through the hallway, totaling at 2 minutes of watching commercials for every 1 minute of playing the game. So this game is pretty horrible in pretty much every way you can imagine, and I know that I'm going to try to keep my daughters as far away from it as I possibly can. The second game on the list is Fidget Trading 3D, which is currently ranked the #1 casual game in the world, and the #1 free game overall in the world. What is happening? Now, it might not seem like this is a horrible game, especially compared to the last one. In fact, I was really intrigued by the game when I saw that it was ranked #1, so I played it a little bit, not only to find out that the value system on these items is sus, but also to realize that the person on the other side is actually a bot. I'm sorry if I'm the first person to break this to you, but you are not actually playing with a real player. If you don't believe me, put on airplane mode and see what happens. What's crazy about this game is it does have good reviews. It's got 4.2 stars, which is pretty good for a mobile game, and yet it has the same monetization scheme as the one I previously mentioned, where you are not only watching one commercial between each time you play, but multiple times, meaning that you are watching commercials twice as much as you are actually playing the game. So the fact that this is the #1 free game overall in the world right now is mind-boggling, and something has to change, and it just bothers me that people don't have a little bit better taste. Speaking of better taste, before I get into the third game on the list, I want to tell you about a sponsored game that I am not allowed to put on any of my top 10 lists. According to the rules that I have set up for this channel, sponsored games are not allowed to get a ranking in any of my videos because of the conflict of interest. But unfortunately, that also causes problems because sponsored games often should be on my top 10 list. In fact, if you think about it, wouldn't you be more confident to pay to promote your game if you thought it was a good game? So the sponsored game of this video is Perfect World Revolution, which is, in my opinion, the best vertical MMORPG in the world right now. Perfect World is based on the classic 2005 PC game with an emphasis on graphics, gameplay, and character development. But in an effort to make it ideal for the mobile phone, the devs broke from the traditional structures and implemented the game in a vertical format so it'd be easier to play with one hand. The game lets you run around, fly, use all of your skills with just one hand, and it is very intuitive. Personally, I really love this concept because good MMOs are incredibly addicting and therefore consume a lot of time. So being able to play with one hand sounds way more relaxing as I level up my character. And like I said, they integrated it very intuitively even when you were doing challenges like fighting a boss. The game is based in a Chinese fantasy realm with all of the amazing things we normally love about good MMOs, like exploring a vast world with flying mounts, a variety of different classes including everything from damage dealers, tanks, healers, and wizards, difficult dungeons that require a good team working together to complete, and dynamic fighting and exploring opportunities. Perfect World is coming out in only 4 days, so if you pre-register now, you will get to start out with some awesome starting items. lineups. These are all the options that you will get based on the milestones they reach. The game is already expected to reach into the millions, so finding teammates should be really easy to find. So that is the sponsored game of this video, and I hope you guys check it out because it is truly amazing what they were able to do with this new game. It is definitely nothing like any of the games listed in this video in that it has really high quality content and you don't have to watch ads half the time you're playing the game. So if you like really good games, then you should check it out, and if you are one of the people that like some of the games listed in this video, then Perfect World Revolution should be the perfect introduction for you into the better side of mobile gaming. On to the third game of the list, Fat to Fit, which is currently ranked number 2 in casual games. Personally, I think this game has taken off much for the same reason that clickbait videos do so well. It is definitely an attention grabber and feels kind of like you're playing a controversial game. The truth is, once you play it, it's kind of tame, and the message is not nearly as bad as the first game listed on this video, but the message is also very unrealistic. Obviously, eating more food does not make you skinnier, and on a deeper level, cucumbers are not always healthier than burgers depending on what your body needs, and depending on the quality of that burger. But even if the unrealistic message doesn't bother you, it's still not a good game for the same reason I mentioned in those other 2 videos. Ads in this game are out of control. This one in many ways is even worse because they will stop you in the middle of a game to watch an ad, or sometimes 2 ads, and you haven't even finished the one game before you will then watch more ads. So while it's kind of a funny concept and it might seem like it's fun to play, the game itself is so full of ads, and a lot of its players also report it being very laggy, so it's just simply not a good game. Why Google is ranking it so high even when the players themselves are rating it so low, I am not sure, but this is the world we live in. The fourth game on the list is Paperfold, which is currently ranked the number 1 puzzle game in the world right now. Just like those other games, the players of the game give it pretty low reviews, saying it has too many ads, though I will note that it seems to have quite a bit less ads than the other 3 games I mentioned, and that it is too easy, which I could not agree more. As you can see, folding this paper is so easy that it's kind of hard to call it a puzzle. And the game doesn't even give you clues on what is right or wrong. You just kind of have to do it, and if you get it wrong, you redo it, and if you get it right, you got it right. There's no real pattern. You just click and hope you get it right, and if you don't, you unclick and then re-click. The 5th game on the list is Countmasters, which is currently ranked the number 1 free action game in the world. I cover a lot of free action games on this channel, and this game is an insult to all of them. The fact that a game that simply makes you use basic math to pick the best number and therefore get to the end is outranking games like Frostborn is an insult to the mobile gaming world. But yet here we are, a lot of the players of Countmasters rate the game saying it's too simple or it's very repetitive. Yet it has millions and millions of downloads, and it is ranked the number 1 action game in the world. So I'm again blown away at what makes it to the top, but this is the world we live in. And then lastly, as a bonus game, I have added Merge Mansion at the request of my wife. My wife loves this game. It is not, in my opinion, that similar to the other games. It does have millions of downloads, but it's not ranked in the top 10, and it doesn't actually have any ads. It's just a basic merging game in which you get to renovate your mansion. It's got a little bit of a storyline, but not much of one, and my wife says it's basically just a cash grab. The reason I put it in here is because when I told her the title of this video, she says it fits perfectly for her. She loves the game, she can't stop playing it, but she's really embarrassed about it. Yet she is willing to share that with thousands of people, so I guess she's not that embarrassed about it. Well, that's it guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to check out Perfect World Revolution, which will be coming out in just 4 days. So if you are interested in it, make sure to follow the link in the description and pin comment for those extra rewards. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.